Making a beautiful round and crispy dosa made with a lentil and rice paste is immensely satisfying. Although it's fairly easy to make, it can be finicky till you get the hang of it. So go get started and make your dosa and all the trimmings today. First, soak 3 cups of rice for 5 hours. I'm using 3 cups of Sona Masoori rice. This is a really good rice to make a dosa. You can also use Idli rice if you prefer. In a separate bowl, soak 1 cup of whole Urad Dhal, quarter of a cup of Chana Dhal, and 1 teaspoon of fenugreek seeds. The Chana Dhal helps the dosa get crispy and the fenugreek seeds help with the fermentation. Soak this for 3 to 4 hours. Rinse both the rice and the dal separately. And before grinding, just soak half a cup of flattened rice or poha. In my food processor, I'm going to add in the dhals, and I'm going to add this in a few batches and grind. Add water as needed. Because I don't have a wet grinder, I'm adding this in a little bit at a time so that it grinds smooth without overheating my machine. Always stop and start your machine, giving your motor a chance to cool in between. If I were to use a wet grinder, you could add all the lentils in at one time. Transfer this to a pot for fermenting. Once all the lentils are ground, I'm going to do the same thing with rice. I'm going to add it in additions, and I'm going to add a little bit of water in between. Pour this over the lentil batter. In my last batch, I'm going to add in the soaked poha and salt to taste. Mix everything well together, and now I want to talk about the fermentation process. Ideally, this will take 6 to 12 hours, and it really depends on how warm it is where you are. In India, this is likely a no-brainer. You can just cover this with a lid and stick it in a warm place. Unfortunately, in Canada, it's so cold, especially in the winter, so you can either stick this into your oven with the light on, or I love to put this in my Instant Pot. Put the lid on and set this to yogurt mode for 8 hours. After 8 hours, this is what it looks like. Give it a stir. Don't set this for longer than 8 hours, as I find that it can form a skin at the bottom. If you want to ferment it longer, you can take it out of the pot and leave it in a warm place. You will know your batter is ready when it's increased in size. It has bubbles when you stir it, and it has a sour smell, which I love, by the way. You will need to add a little water to thin it down a bit. Before you start to make the dosa, you will need a flat non-stick tawa or frying pan. I reserve this only to make dosas, but a frying pan with a good non-stick coating will also work. I have here a bowl of water and I have half an onion sitting in some oil with a fork. I also have a little flat-bottomed stainless steel katori or bowl. Heat up the tawa and start greasing the tawa with the onion. You want to have your tawa greased, but you don't want blobs of oil, as this will disturb the spreading of the dosa. So I like to dab the excess with a kitchen towel. Next, sprinkle water on the hot tawa. This is meant to regulate and cool down the tawa after each dosa. The water usually evaporates. If you add too much water, it could dilute the consistency of the batter and break the dosa. Like I said before, this takes some practice. Pour in the batter in the center of the pan, and then using the little bowl, spread the batter thinly and evenly, starting from the center and moving outwards in a circular motion. Most people just use a ladle. This is a personal choice for me. I find that I have more control of the circular movement and I like the flat bottom of the katori. I don't flip my dosas over as they don't in restaurants. Instead, I'm going to sprinkle it with some oil. You could also add butter, and I'm going to add some idli podi, which is a special combination of chilies and other spices. You can also add chili powder, or you could just leave it out. Here's an example of what could happen if you add too much water. And if you don't add enough water to cool it down, it could also clump up and not spread. There's a way to fix a little hole too. You just need to work fast. Blobs of butter give a lovely flavor. Some people also add chopped onion, chili, and coriander. Now, dosas are only as good as their accompaniments. Traditionally, this is served with a potato filling and some peanut and tomato chutney. You can find all of these recipe videos on my YouTube channel. Enjoy.